Hey cats, EDDBUD here, that running shoe daddy-o from the rockin' and rollin' southwest of the UK. Hope you're having a fun and exciting day today. For me, it was a long run time. That's very much like MC Hammer's hammer time, but with far less hammering and more running. 15 miles today, to be precise, that's 24.14 kilometres. That makes a total of 60 miles for the week, 96.5 kilometres total. Actually feeling pretty reasonable today. A little tightness in the right glute when I did get up this morning, but nothing that the foam roller and a bit of Rob Ross on the YouTube couldn't sort out. Rob Ross's words just seem to make the pain in my glute there just disappear. Happy big shoes. Happy big shoes. Talking of painting, the one in today's Strava pic of the Boston 9s is by my talented family member Callum Bashford. This man is a creator, not only of paintings but also of music. No doubt you will see and hear more from him in the future. So a pace of 7 minutes 51 seconds per mile average, that's 4 minutes 53 per kilometre on that nice testing undulating 15-mile route today. The Boston 9 from Adidas was up on the test table today, and you'll be wondering how they performed. Well, the answer is they left me feeling strong towards the latter stages of the run, and the cushion was enjoyable throughout. I'm really pleased to have a couple of Boost-based midsole shoes back in my rotation right now. I've really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the initial run in the Adizero Pro also. You will remember towards the start of this year, I did pick up the Ultra Boost 20. I just found there was far too much boost in that shoe for me, but these two really hit the spot. That boost was really helpful on that nasty drop in this run, which is round about 9 miles. There's a descent of about 260 feet, which is about 80 or so meters, over less than a mile, which really tests out the glutes and the ankles. No such trouble though in the Adidas Boston 9 today. The boost in the midsole there gave some really good shock absorption, and I have to say it was the most secure and pleasant gallop down that ridiculous hill that I've had in some time. The previous evening and early morning had seen quite fine rain across the town, and many of the country roads that I was going to run on today were very wet when I got out the door. But that Continental rubber and boost held firm like a stout Arsenal defence against Man City in the FA Cup semi-final yesterday. Go on you Gunners. Most impressive grip from the outsole here on the Boston 9, even on some quite slippery surfaces. I was really impressed as well with this shoe, how well it handled some quite wet grass. I had to navigate through a few sections where the grass was just completely saturated. It seemed to vent the water out quite quickly. Well, my foot did get a little wet, but that's to be expected. Outsole actually worked really well on that grass. Managed to pick up the pace actually a little bit. It's quite nice actually getting onto the grass. You got a little bit more give in the terrain when you've been running on pavement or concrete for so long. It's quite nice actually getting onto something that's a little bit more spongy. So I ran the majority of the miles today just under my 8 minutes per mile target pace. I think that's around about 5 minutes per kilometre if you are interested. Certainly ran the second half of the run today much faster than the first. Got up towards the end to around about 7 minutes 30 per mile. That's 4 minutes 40 per kilometre. I find these long runs really good for strength and endurance. No music today either. I just ran with my thoughts. Not sure I really had any thoughts other than the fact I was really hungry. It was quite fun in the last couple of miles. I managed to pick up the pace, using up whatever was left in the tank, and just push things a little bit harder, and just feeling really good. Got two slight issues to talk about with the Boston 9 over my long run today. I did mention it in my initial review, but I did find that the tongue starts to slip down the shoe after a few miles. I think I've got a workaround for that now, but it is something to bear in mind if that isn't something that you've experienced perhaps before in one of the previous iterations of the Boston. Despite the best efforts of those gusset pieces either side of the tongue, it did just seem to slip down, and I had a bit of bunching down here where the tongue joins up with the rest of the upper. I had to stop a couple of times to yank the tongue back up a little bit, but it soon happened again. What I am going to try is lacing up using some of the, I take it they're ventilation holes here. Now, I've managed to do that on this shoe, so next time I go out in them I'll update you and see if that's solved the problem. That's a similar thing to what I did with the New Balance Fuel Cell TC. They had some ventilation holes, I stuck a couple of the laces through there, and that seemed to do the trick. I never had another problem with the tongue slipping down again in that shoe. Otherwise, I mean, I could try some more adaptation to the tongue, but I'm not a particular hero with the sewing needle. That's more Mrs. EDDBUD's area of expertise. Second issue I found was with the more padded and bulky sections of the Boston 9's upper. This one did pick up quite a considerable amount of water and moisture over the 15 miles today. Shoes increased by about 20 grams each. That's about 0.7 of an ounce. This might not seem like a lot, but I know a lot of you people out there are probably looking at getting this shoe to wear it for half marathons or marathons, and you never really know what the weather's going to be like on those days, do you? You don't want a shoe that's going to let you down on your one chance that you've been building up for months and months before. I mean, it might not be of consequence to a lot of people. I know you think I'm a little bit obsessed about the weight of shoes, but 20 grams is quite a lot. If you imagine that's carrying an extra 40 grams of weight around with you mile after mile, surely that's going to eat into the energy reserves a little bit more. I gotta be honest, I didn't find them overly heavy today. Still managed to record a couple of really fast miles at the very end of the run. I found lockdown to be fantastic in the Boston 9 today. No need to relace or alter the tension of the laces at all. I found the boost in the midsole of the shoe really consistent over all of the miles. Didn't seem like it changed in terms of its properties or its energy return at all. It was just really consistent over the whole thing. Did feel like I could pick up the pace when I wanted to. There's a couple of quite nasty hill climbs there. Certainly one towards the end. I think it must have been about 12.5, 13 miles. It's a real tester, that one. I know that the Saucony Endorphin Pro last week did seem to give me a little boost going up that hill, but actually the boost in this one today was really great. I think that was the fastest I've done that hill climb, so could be that I'm just getting a little fitter, but it certainly felt more in control today. So certainly impressed with the performance of the Boston 9 today on the long run. Very similar time recorded as in last week's run in the Endorphin Pro. So as long as I can rectify that tongue slipping situation, I can thoroughly recommend to you the Boston 9 in the long run shoe category. Have you picked up the Boston 9, guys? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this shoe. Have you had that same tongue slipping issue? Have you found them to be very sponge-like in terms of their water and moisture absorption? Let me know in the comments. A musical interlude for you. As you know, I've been listening to the Bristol-based band Idols recently. That got me thinking, what other music has there been from Bristol that I've really enjoyed over the last 30 years? One such group was Ronnie Size and Represent. I used to love Ronnie Size's material, and DJ Crust as well. They produced some particularly fantastic early drum and bass. Lots of kind of funk and soul influences in there. Always some really cool bass lines. Always had a really nice earthy sound to their music as well. Some of the other stuff just sounded a little bit too technological for my liking. There's always a nice human aspect to the Ronnie Size material. I particularly like Share the Fall and Brown Paper Bag as well. They were great tunes. In fact, the Photech remix of Brown Paper Bag is one of my favourites. So if you're into that early drum and bass vibe, do go and check out Ronnie Size. DJ Crust and DJ Die as well. They did some great tunes too. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video, guys. I very much appreciate it. Hope you've all had a fantastic weekend and you've been out running in your favourite running shoes. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications below of when I launch those new videos. It also helps the channel out a huge amount if you give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you.